From an options trading doctor wrecking his portfolio to another user making almost $10 million, we're gonna go over the craziest trades of June. Long was here is someone who we've covered in a previous video, but he just made a trade so wild that his portfolio is now in jeopardy. On April 23rd, Long was getting ready for his 30th birthday. Coincidentally enough, his birthday fell on the day that Meta was reporting earnings. Long decided to throw just over $1 million into calls on Meta. April 24th came along and things were going all right during the trading day. The stock dropped 0.5%, but this didn't worry Long because Meta was reporting their earnings after hours. Mark Zuckerberg was also seen rocking ice on his neck, so surely there was no way that earnings could disappoint. Another user on the subreddit said, "I just followed with 30K of my own. In Dragon we trust." Finally, Meta reported earnings. The company did decent in the first quarter, but overall had weak revenue guidance, which caused the stock to fall 16%. Long's $1 million position was now only worth 10.4K. About 2 weeks later, Long got his hands on a 60K gain with Reddit stock. He also adds a screenshot of his roller coaster of a portfolio. Serial Forehead Kisser is an options trading doctor who is in desperate need of our help. On the week of May 12th, SFK made some pretty solid gains by getting in on the meme stock action. He sold for a $44,000 gain and was looking for the next trade opportunity. Unfortunately though, his next trades wouldn't be as lucky as his first. He ended up falling 60K from his peak and 17K overall. SFK is 23 years old and has $100,000 of school debt since he's currently in a doctoral program. He doesn't work since he studies while living at home. This was all the money he saved up working before he started school, so now he feels like he's at an all-time low. GXD Assassin would tell him that it's time to stop trading, but JB Kostan is a user who would do the opposite. After being dumped by his girlfriend, JB Kostan decided that his best course of action was to YOLO his portfolio on 1 to 3 day till expiration puts. He dropped $1,300 on 1 day till expiration SPY puts, $1,500 on 3 day till expiration Tesla puts, and $3,700 on Nvidia puts that were also 3 day till expiration. He said, I'm sad already, can't get any sadder than this. Right? Other users would talk a whole lot of schmack about trading on emotion, but luckily enough, JB Kostan was able to sell these puts for a profit. Selling them for $8,100, he was able to secure a $1,600 gain. Z Ricky Ticky is a user who followed a fellow WallStreetBets member's due diligence, and it actually paid off. On May 28th, Watt Eugene posted due diligence on why Salesforce would not have a good earnings report. Eugene says enterprises are too heavily focused on AI. AI is eating into their business, and 2 other AI-related reasons. He bought 50 puts at the $250 strike price that expired that Friday. Lo and behold, Salesforce's underwhelming earnings report sent the stock falling to $223 after hours. This put Watt Eugene's puts in the money by 27 bucks. He closed for a $150,000 gain, which means that he 15x'd his money. Going back to Z Ricky Ticky, Ricky was originally blown away by Eugene's intelligent DD. After reading Eugene's post, Ricky did some of his own digging and decided that he would get in on the action. Starting off the week with 15K, he was quickly able to 4x his money. Ricky didn't stop just there though, because he saw a similar setup with MongoDB, another software company. Just like Salesforce, MongoDB had terrible earnings and the stock fell 26% in a single day. After hitting a double whammy, Ricky decided it was time to step away. He's a dad expecting another son on the way, so he doesn't want to get too reckless with the insane profit he's made over the past week. He thanks Eugene from the bottom of his heart and says that he's gonna protect this gain like he protects his kids. Overall, a pretty wholesome story for once. The Adam Cooper is a user who almost sent his portfolio down the drain in the middle of the trading day. On Friday, May 24th, the Adam Cooper was feeling pretty risky. SPY was trading just under $5 $528, and he thought the market was due for a pullback. So he bought at-the-money SPY puts that expired later that day. His portfolio rocketed up from 25K to 32K in just a few minutes. But the Adam Cooper didn't hit the sell button. He had a stop loss set in place, but the stock rallied so hard that the order was never able to execute. Now, SPY was making its way up for the day, and he was down 5K. The Adam Cooper decided that the worst had already been done, so he canceled all stop losses and started averaging down. SPY flew past $529, and his options were down over 90%. What was once $106 a contract was now only 8 cents. The Adam Cooper was visibly sweating and yelling out prayers until his losses were almost at 12K. Adam decided that he should probably cut his losses and just walk away. But he still had a tiny bit of hope left that things would turn around. In only 4 minutes, SPY dropped from $529.40 to $528.40, and his portfolio was saved. He went from being down 48% to being up 18.5% for the day in literally just a few minutes. If SPY didn't have this mini crash right before market close, his portfolio would have been a goner. When it was all said and done, Adam walked away with a $4,800 gain. Fosterion 18. After months of holding off, I finally decided to make a Discord server for the community. On top of this, I'm partnering with Webull to get you anywhere from 3 to 75 free stocks. Not only do you get free stocks, but whoever sets up their Webull with my affiliate link in the description will get the all-exclusive Master Trader role in my Discord. Making an account with Webull only takes a few minutes. You can literally deposit 1 cent and they will give you free money. VGP Lounge is a Reddit user who got insanely lucky with this promotion and got $3,000 worth of Tesla stock just a few weeks ago. I'm gonna be using all of this money to make risky trades that I'll post to the Discord, so you'll be able to make contributions to my ticking time bomb of a portfolio. In all seriousness, Webull is a great platform, and your signups really help me out. Make sure to get your free stocks and your Master Trader role with the link down below in the description. Fosterion 18 is a user who, as we've talked about before, has over $20 million to play with in his trading account. This huge amount of money just keeps growing though, because on May 25th, he would show us that he was up another 2.4 mil. Nvidia's earnings beat had the stock setting new all-time highs. Dell stock also set new records and broke past $160. Fosterion's 43K worth of Dell weeklies rocketed 2,000% and were now worth $836,000. He also had 450K worth of Nvidia weeklies that were now worth a whopping 2 mil. Flash forward 4 days later, and Fosterion was already back with another 7-figure gain for the day. NDX had a small drop the morning of the post, and Fosterion loaded up on 176K worth of calls. He ended up selling them for a $1.3 million gain the same day. That's not even all of it yet though, because he also closed out of his Nvidia call spread that put his total daily gain at 2.5 mil. Only a couple days later, he set a new personal record. After being down $1 million on 0DTE options one point in the day, his portfolio surged by 5.5 mil, bringing his daily gain to $5,500,000. Fosterion has been on just an insane run the past year, and it's gonna be crazy seeing where he ends up the next time we talk about him. The last latchkey kid, aka Sid Brody, is a user who's been making casual posts to Wall Street Bets for years now, but on May 27th, he finally came clean about the dark past of his portfolio. Sid started trading when the pandemic was first getting started. He started off pretty tame and would only get a few shares of whatever was popular at the time. This was until his newfound knowledge of metamaterial science. He found out that the company Metamaterial would be reverse merging with Torchlight. Sid had metamaterial fever and loaded up on shares that were only trading at 23 cents at the time. Sid was living as usual until his dad spilled the beans about his top secret portfolio. Sid's dad revealed that he had 16K sitting for him in a Voya financial account. Sid quickly linked this to an E-Trade account and kept loading up on Torchlight. Not too long after this, Torchlight flew up to $1 a share. This was nothing though, because the stock would eventually surpass $10 a share. Sid's once modest portfolio was now worth $460,000. Sid's dad told him that he better sell those shares if he knew it was good for him, but Sid told him he was waiting for the merger to happen. Also, the merger was happening on his birthday, so it seemed like things were meant to be. The merger wasn't all it was cracked up to be though, because his $460,000 portfolio would drop to $360K the next day. The day after that, it would drop again to $260K. Long story short, Sid ended up holding the bag and kept his shares until they were only worth 16 cents a piece, which was less than what he bought them for. He transferred what he had left and shuffled it over to Robinhood, where he is now an avid options trader. He hasn't had the hottest start so far, but hopefully things smooth over for him. Powerful Cry 4049 is a user who has lost so much money that he is now sick to his stomach. His investing journey began about 3 years ago when he was buying stocks in a custodial account at 15 years old. He did a pretty good job, and by the time he was 18, he had an $18,000 portfolio that he accumulated from profitable investments and saving money. Besides this $18,000, he was also trading options in a Webull account that was in his mom's name. Given that he was now 18, that meant the Fidelity portfolio would be officially transferred to his name. Powerful Cry initially pledged to stay away from options with this money, but according to him, his high risk tolerance got the best of him. Ready to make some wicked trades, he took this $18K and bought a variety of in-the-money options. With Coin, Mara, Enphase, and Lily, he was able to take his portfolio to $30K. Things were smooth sailing until he started aggressively buying Lily calls that were out of the money. He was quickly hit with a $6,000 loss, so like all intelligent investors, he started revenge trading. He bought more Lily calls that expired in only a day. Lily stock fell about 2% the following few days, and his $30,000 portfolio was now only worth $11.4K. He moved on to shop calls, and once again, he was gypped with those. He had $8,000 in his portfolio and knew that he needed to make a crazy trade to make his money back. He bought 2-day till expiration SLV calls that inevitably dropped his portfolio down to $1,100. On May 31st, he bought good old 0 DTE SPY puts that were out of the money. And luckily for him, SPY fell 1%, which sent his portfolio to $10.3K. SPY fell all the way down to $518.37. But he didn't sell his puts yet because he was waiting for the stock to hit $518.28. Powerful Cry waited for a 9-cent drop that unfortunately would never happen. SPY ended up rebounding and his $10.3K portfolio once again dropped down to only $2,700. He had been on an absolutely wild ride, but he still wasn't done yet. Eager to make his money back, he YOLO'd the whole enchilada on SPX puts that expired in only an hour. SPX kept rallying for the rest of the day, and his portfolio fell to $601. Introduction Week 244 is a user who can't get away from Robinhood. On May 13th, he made a post titled, "Do I give up because I have no self-control?" He's down 99% for the year, and things are looking pretty grim. It looks like he didn't give up at that moment though, because he was back 3 days later, showing that he added more funds to his portfolio. The only thing was that he was sick and tired of always losing money. He said he finally reached his limit. He's been trading for about 6 or 7 years and found out about options along the way. He says he officially quits again and wishes he spent the money on something more worthwhile, like going on a vacation with his family. He then starts talking about how his manager and his manager's husband paid $20K to fly to another state to be hypnotized into losing weight. The hypnosis didn't work and they ended up gaining some weight since then. This may sound pretty darn unrelated, but he says this to show that someone is always worse off than you are. Apparently, Introduction Week needs to be hypnotized into not trading options because he would be back at it again only 2 weeks later. He was up 270% for the day, which put his portfolio up to $7,400. Only a day after that, he shows he barely broke even after being down 42% at one point in the day. Introduction Week seems like he seriously needs to stay away from options, so hopefully he gets on track soon. Bear to Be Bull is a user who took $120K to Wall Street Bets and ended up cutting his portfolio down to only $12K. until he miraculously got his hands on a 20x gain. After trading on Robinhood for a few years, Bear to Be Bull finally realized that things weren't going so well. What was once over 122k was now only 12k. Bear to Be Bull couldn't handle the continual losses anymore, so in December of 2023, he decided to jump on the AI train. LowAd1262 is a user whose portfolio has been on quite the ride. After trading a string of 0 to 2 day till expiration Kava, UGI, and PM options, he was able to take his portfolio all the way up to 80k. It was May 2nd and he was up over 1300% for the month. Kava was trading at just about 68 bucks, and after seeing its insane rally over the past several months, LowAd decided that now was the time for a pullback. He took his entire portfolio and yellowed it on $70 Kava puts. Kava's momentum wouldn't stop anytime soon after this post though. The stock rallied far past $70 and LowAd's portfolio would sink down to a whopping $59. Now, he doesn't know what to do with his life and advises others to not be like him. It Never Gets Better 1 is a user on WallStreetBets who has seen better days. Back in March, he was making 20k plus gains. Now, he is completely out of money and technically in debt. On March 21st, he made the post, "My first big win," where he was up 13k for the day. He even says it went up another 10k the next day in a comment under the post. On April 29th, It Never Gets Better 1 YOLO'd 20k in clean spark calls that expired on June 21st. Since then, the stock has been trading pretty darn sideways. He was down 15k, so he averaged down with another 5 grand. This leads us to the end of May, where he is now down 20.5k. He also lets us know that he is 20 years old and most of this money was borrowed from his dad. He says, "What do I do? Please help." UVCool02 is a user who has lost 97% of his portfolio and says that he needs extreme help. In his first post to the subreddit, UVCool lets us know that he needs help after losing $80,000 in his Robinhood portfolio. In the past 2 years, UVCool has been a self-proclaimed double downer and revenge trader. He lost everything and hasn't really learned much of anything. After an unforeseen upcoming event, UVCool02 now needs to recoup some of his losses. UVCool02 anticipates the negative comments, but he says he just wants to learn more about options and the stock market in general. Athlete Illustrious47 would comment, "0 DTE spy calls. You're down 97%, can't get much worse. Send one final YOLO." Remarkable Argument 57 is someone who is in a similar boat as Long. Just over a month ago, Remarkable Argument was able to take $800 into 40k with the help of spy puts. This is already pretty insane luck, but Remarkable Argument wanted to take it a step further. He spent 7k on spy puts that expired only 1 day later. It seems like he was still on a hot streak because his puts would rocket to a value of $32,000. Kevin FOMO the Degen is a user who was in the hole 100k, but was brought back to life by Jensen Huang. After taking 20k to 1.2 mil with First Solar, Kevin's been on the hunt for the next big trade. Kevin was dormant for about half a year until he finally made his grand return on May 28th. He showed off his Nvidia position that almost made him lose 6 figures. Kevin got spreads and calls, but his 1150 calls in particular rocketed 2600%. With a $600,000 gain, it's nice to see that this user is still doing alright. Huge shout out to Miguel Hazler and 2008 Ford Fusion for subscribing to the Diamond tier on Patreon. Click the link in the description below if you want to be featured in future videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment who you think had the craziest trade of June.